Hello, this is Bill from Billboard Comics with another edition of our feature here, Growing Up Comics. It's a walk down memory lane with me about what it was like to be a collector of things back in the 70s and 80s as a kid. Today, I am going to tell you how I progressed from being a baseball card collector into being a comic book collector. See, I was a baseball card collector before I became a comic book collector. Um, when I was early in my early days, other videos I talked about this, like the comic books and baseball cards are two major parts of pop culture ephemera for at least boys like me back in the 70s and 80s. You just go there, you pick up a pack, you get a couple players, go there, get a comic book, read it, no big whoop. Um, however, during the early 80s, I started to become a comic book, a baseball card collector. Excuse me. Um, and it was a hobby that I picked up and did with my father for a long time. I feel like I got into comic books somewhere in the late '70s, like 1978. Those are the style of baseball cards that I recognize. There was a picture with a little banner with the team down at the bottom. Um, so I can put one up here if I get around to it. Um, but I really started picking up as being a solid, serious collector of it back in like the '80s, '81, '82. Um, Possibly because uh, back then, that's when Topps usually had a domination for baseball cards up to that point. Two newer card companies came in and gave them competition: Fleer and Donruss. Um, Fleer, I remember being kind of like a fancier version of a card. Topps is basically a piece of cardboard, like with a grayish kind of hue to it, a picture, kind of glossy picture on the front, stats on the back, and that's it. Um, Fleer I remember being on higher quality pieces of paper. It was more of a white stock, and um, the design was a little bit different. It had a blue background with the stuff in like fields in it. And Donruss had um, similar kind of like quality to it, like a wider stock cardboard that used to that stuff. Donruss also had something that neither Topps nor Fleer had. They had Diamond Kings. Um, the first 20 or 30 cards every year would be painted versions of the popular heroes of the day in the baseball world. Gary Carter, Pete Rose, whatever, whatnot. Um, and a lot of them, I think, like one of the paintings was always adapted into a puzzle, and you got three pieces of the puzzle with every pack of Donruss you got, so you could collect those all and eventually get a complete puzzle made out of it. Um, I think this ran from about like say like 80 to about 84 before I started like dropping off, which means like I you know for all your baseball card collectors out there, I had the Ricky Henderson's rookie, I had Don Manning's rookie, I had Cal Ripken's rookie, had a whole bunch of like really big name players as rookies and stuff. And like I said, my father went along with the hobby with me. It was kind of something we did together. It was like we knew when the new uh, uh, baseball card edition would be coming out. Um, we would save up our money and we would go to the local candy distributor. Uh, the place that gave uh, would be a warehouse for like selling like candies and cards to mom and pop stores and general stores and stuff like that. And we go there and we buy unopened boxes of the comic book wax packs. Um, you know, I remember sometimes like if things were good, we'd like like my father would get like Tops, I get Donruss, and we try to make a complete set out of them. Or sometimes we get more than one at the same time. Um, he would sit on the couch, I would sit on the floor. We'd open every wax pack and try to put them in order. And like, okay, this. Okay, this is a double bow of this, but it's when one of the one of the best memories I have of my father. Just going through that constantly, just doing that. Um, but you know, I'm sorry. Uh, Pull yourself together. Um, but starting with the at a smaller format, the baseball cards, uh, kind of taught me how to become a collector. Especially, it served me very well when it came to actually like collecting comic books. Um, it showed me the value of keeping updated lists. Uh, not relying on memory for stuff because you have 660 to 720 cards in every set. It's kind of hard to actually, you know, memorize them all by heart. Um, yeah, it gave me the thrill of the hunt. Yeah, try to find like a card that you need, a hard to find card, in a box of commons, and it's all you need to complete your set. You find it and get that sense of like joy and like endorphins popping in your head. Like I accomplished something. I did something. All this was baked into my years as a baseball card collector. Um, and it's like basically a shared collection with my dad. Me and my dad both had it. Like I said, we try to get every set as you could possibly can, and he'd work on one, I work on the other, and we'd like tag team and all kinds of stuff like that, and it was a good time. Um, I think this ran to like the rest. Just doing a quick like look of like the card fronts. Um, I think like I ran from about like say about 1980 to about 1984, 1985 with this collection of baseball cards. A pretty good period to have baseball cards. Like I said, a lot of good rookies that came in to um, play there. Um, but I quickly became torn between two lovers. It's like 1982 when I decided to become a comic book collector, and you know, the of the two lovers I had, the comic book was a little bit more possessive. It wanted more of my time, more of my money, and more of my attention. And as such, the baseball cards fell by the wayside. And I remember, like when I first made the decision to just switch over 100% to comic books, my dad said, "Well, I'm not going to do that with you. I did the baseball cards with you, but no, just too much again in the comic books." And to that point, I never really realized that my father was into baseball cards because I was into baseball cards. He was doing it as a bonding experience between us two, and so we could do it together and stuff like that. So it kind of stung when he told me that, and it hasn't gotten better with age. I wish I knew. Who knows if I had, you know, a little bit of like foresight or like kind of like you know understanding what's going on. I might not ever become a comic collector, but I just found more joy and entertainment with like the comic book collecting. Like looking at stats in the back of a baseball card is good. It's great. It's awesome. Um, but it doesn't beat the thing about reading about know the Masters of Evil taking over Avengers Mansion and you know trying to kill the Avengers. Um, it's much more drama and pathos. I like it better that way. Um, Being that I'm a child of nostalgia, and a lot of people my age are like go back into stuff and try like, hey, maybe I could go back and you know um, try to pick up where I left off. Um, First of all, trying to get my father sold all the baseball cards sometime, like I think it was in high school. Um, just well, we're poor white trash and we need money, so and that's a good way to get some fundage. And he probably sold them all for way less than what they were worth. But that's what happens when you collect stuff. You sell it for way less than it's worth. You just have to make sure you sell it for way more than you paid for it, which I think he did. So that's how it was back in those days. How it is with collectibles. You buy low and hopefully sell high or sell for more than you bought it for. Uh, but you never get what you was worth. Especially when you consider all the memory and the good times that are involved in it. You never get adequate repayment for that. But like as I started this out, now it's trying to be a child of like kind of like there's a lot of noise around here, so hopefully it's blocking out a whole bunch of this. Um, but as a child who is into nostalgia, as many of my generation are, we I try to get back into it, but it's not really easy. First of all, getting the stuff I collected when I was collecting, we had complete sets of like from like 1980 to 1984 of like every major thing like Topps, Dunrouse, Flair. Um, got them in like with about like kind of like vinyl books with the vinyl pages inside and each thing inside it. So to look at it is really fun. Going back into that now is not going to be, I don't think, economical for it. Namely, for as I mentioned, um, during this period, there's the Ricky Henderson rookie, there's the Cal Ripken rookie, there's the Dave Manningly rookie, and a whole bunch of other ones that are lumped in there that make it not exactly easy or inexpensive to collect. I try to pick up like nowadays, but nowadays it just seems there are so many items on the card collecting horizon that it's daunting to get into. Um, like I said, back when I started back in the '80s, the big technological advancement was that the cardboard used for the baseball cards was wider. Now they have like signatures and little pieces of the like uniforms put in the card and like metallic stuff and hologram stuff and all kinds of stuff like that. That so many bells and whistles, and there's so many different brands and sets, and this is like it's just hard to actually figure out. There's no basic sets to get into as far as I can tell. And it's hard to find out which one is the actual main basic set. Um, I tried. I tried to get into like a little bit of football cards, a little bit of baseball cards. Um, about a pack here, a pack there. I think I got pretty close to a complete set of football cards. I don't know which year, but it's the year with Adrian Peterson's rookie card in it. Um, but it's kind of daunting, like because football cards are a little bit easier, at least back then, to get into than baseball cards. It's just like there's so many like different companies, but they're all the same company. There's Topps, and Topps has redone Bowman, and Bowman is now Topps, but uh, it's it's hard to figure out. So uh, that's probably going to be in the past, but I'll have those memories for me. It did make me into the collector I am today, um, but it's a strange entry into the actual world of comic book collecting. Um, I am thankful for it. I'm thankful for the memories I have. It's one of the most positive memories I have with my dad. You know, and I always carried that with me, and that's what nostalgia is all about. Um, so, but yeah, so baseball cards taught me to be a collector, and I went on to the far more expensive, time-consuming um, hobby of comic book collecting, and I stayed there for the next 40 odd years, and here I am now. Uh, I hope you like this trip down memory lane. If you have any memories about like if you had a similar journey of like you collected something that before you moved into comic books and have some kind of melancholy remembrances of it or happy remembrances of it or whatever, put something in the comments and we talk about it. We'll start a discussion. Um, if you like this video, hit like. Um, if you would like to see more in this line of like walking down memory lane, I will be trying to do this at least once a week if I can, as long as I'm able to. So hit subscribe and we'll get that there. And yeah, um, hope you're having a wonderful time wherever you are. And always remember, keep collecting.